Are you trying to purchase some equipment for your trucking business and the banks will not give you a loan and you don't have any cash to purchase it? What do? Give up? No. If you don't have the money to purchase it and the bank won't give you a loan, we got you. We're gonna share with you how we was able to purchase our step deck using nothing but credit cards. So this is what we did. We're gonna share the process on how to do it. And disclaimer, I am not telling you to go and do it. We are just sharing the process on how we was able to do it. This is what worked for us, and that's why we did it the way we did it. Your situation might be different than our situation, so I'm not telling you to go out there, get a bunch of credit cards and do what we did. I'm just giving you an idea of the things that you can do if you have good credit and high limit credit cards, because that's what we did. So if you have watched some of our other videos, after purchasing our truck, we wanted to get a step deck. However, due to the large amount of cash that we had already spent, buying the truck, we didn't want to, spend any more cash to buy the step deck. So we had to come up with a creative idea on how to do it. So me and Seneca, we both have good credit. I have some credit cards with high limits on them from Chase, personal ones. And with some of the banks, when you have personal credit cards and if you apply for a business credit card, they will approve you. Obviously, if you have good credit, they will approve you and they will mirror basically what you have on your personal. So like if you have a personal credit card with Chase for $20,000, you're probably gonna get a business credit card for $20,000. So it kind of goes hand in hand with your personal, but it's under your business. And that is what we did. So, after finding out that we couldn't get a loan from the banks, Navy Federal specifically, to purchase equipment because we haven't been in business for 2 years. So that's what they told us that they wanted, 2 years in business. We haven't been in business that long. So we had to, like I said, come up with a creative idea. So we applied for different business credit cards is what we did. So I applied for one with Chase and some with Navy Federal. They approve us for the business credit card, no problem. They won't give you a loan for the business, but they will give you the credit cards. Make it make sense? Whatever. So with that, we, like I said, we had high limits on them. We found a step deck that we wanted to purchase, and we just had to come up with a way on how to liquify the cash from the credit cards to put it all together into the business account to purchase the step deck. We was getting it from the private owner. So the way we did it, okay, Bank of America is a really good bank to work with. However, they are really, really strict on giving out credit cards and things like that. I have super strict. I feel like it's one of the most difficult ones to get anything with. But I have been with Bank of America for about 15 years, maybe longer. So, I'm finally to the point where they approved me for like really good credit cards. So with their credit cards from Bank of America, I can only speak on this one for this specific situation. Well, I can speak on that one and the other ones that I tried this with, and I'll explain. So with Bank of America, if you have a credit card, let's say you have you have a credit card with $20,000 limit, you can actually call Bank of America and say, hey, I need to do a cash transfer from my credit card to my bank account, and they will do that instead of doing a cash or a balance transfer, transferring some of the available credit from the credit card. Instead of doing that, you can just call the bank and say, I need to do a cash transfer from my credit card to my bank account. It's a different thing. So that's a cash transfer. The other one is a balance transfer, which they charge really high, interest and all of that stuff. So it's going to be different depending on your credit score and all of that. So that's what I did. So I had one with Bank of America that had about $16,000 limit on it. So I called, once we found the step deck that we wanted to get, we knew that we didn't have the money at the moment to just go get it and pay for the step deck. And like I said, we was getting it from the private owner. So I called Bank of America and I said I need to do a cash transfer from my credit card to my business account. To my personal account. I transferred to my personal account from my personal account to the business, because I didn't want to tell them that it was something for my business, because they will ask you, what are you using the money for? So I didn't know how that was going to work. So I didn't transfer it to my business. I transferred it to my personal bank account, and then from there to the business. So I called them, and that's what I said. They asked me, how much do you want to transfer? And I said, transfer the full amount that I have available on my credit. Like I said, they ended up transferring about $15,000, because they do charge some money to do that, and you gotta leave some in there so that it's not all the way down to or that is not all maxed out. So I ended up transferring $15,000 out of that one to my personal, from my personal to the business. That was one. The price that we paid for the step deck was $33,000. So we still needed the rest of the money, obviously. So what we did with the other credit cards, I called Navy Federal and I asked them if they did a cash transfer directly from the credit card to the personal, and they said no, they don't do that. So they said, but what you can do a balance transfer. And I was like, okay. So however much they allow you to do, it's not the full amount of the credit card. Bank of America, it's the full amount of the credit card. So with Navy Federal, I had just got approved, a few weeks prior to that, for one of their credit cards for $25,000. And so what I did with them, I pulled whatever cash it was available for me to pull out of there. It was about $7,000. And on that, obviously, like I said, you do have to pay fees and interest and all these things. So we ended up doing, we pulled the $7,000 out of that. We already had the other $15,000 from the other credit card, and then we used one of Seneca's credit card from Navy Federal, and we did. So he had some, I had some. So we did the same process. Just do the balance transfer. When you have high limits, your balance transfer can be $7,000, $8,000, however much they want to allow you to transfer. So we used, I think it was 3 credit cards. It was either 3 or 4, but that was the process that we did in order for us to get $33,000 into the business account, in order for us to be able to to purchase the step deck. So that was the process that we used. Now, like I said, I am not telling you what to do. That's between you and your credit. I'm just telling you, this is what we did. This is what worked for us. We was able to come up with all of the cash that we needed in order to purchase, the step deck. So once the money was in the business account, it took about 2 days to, between all the transferring and this and that, to have it all there. So from there, I was able to pull out some of it on a cashier's check, because that was the deal with the private owner, that he wanted it all cash. I didn't want to pay the whole thing, walking there with this much cash. So we did, some of it was cash and some of it was on the cashier's check. That's what we did. But it came from the business account, because you want to pay everything out of your business account for taxes purposes at the end of the year, and that's what we did with that one. So we was able to just go to the private owner and be like, all right, now we got the money, here it is. He had title in hand, gave it to us, and the transaction was completed. So like I said, it worked for us. It can work for you guys. However, you have to be very responsible with that stuff. Getting this much debt with your credit cards and all of that can be a problem. You can end up digging yourself into a hole that is going to be hard to get out of it, because you do have to pay interest and balance transfer and this and that on those credit cards. If you know for a fact that you're going to make the money on whatever you're using the money for, and you know for a fact that you're going to be able to pay that money within couple months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever, so that you're not paying so much interest, month after month for years or whatever the case might be. That's the only time that I recommend doing anything like that. If you're looking to invest, to purchase a truck, trailer, whatever the case might be, but you know for a fact that you're going to be able to pay the money back in a short span of time, why not? Why not utilize the credit? Because the banks are not going to give you a loan. That was our experience. They're not going to give you a loan to purchase equipment unless you have been in business for 2 years and you have the financial statements to prove that your business has been profitable those 2 years. So it can be that you have been in business for 2 years, but if you don't have those financial statements to prove that, and you have been on the red those 2 years, they're not going to work with you. They're still not going to give you that loan.
Just do it on the internet.
Yeah. So some of those things you just have to find a way to kind of make it work for you. When you get denied with the bank and you have perfect credit and all of that, it's super frustrating because you're like, whoa, like why? I have good credit. But it's understanding that trucking is a really high risk business, and the banks don't want to deal with that if you don't have a proven track record with your business already, which we didn't. So it is what it is. You got to find a way to make it work, and why not utilize your credit if you have it in those credit cards. Now another thing, when it comes to the credit cards, we only apply for credit cards that have like promotional things, like they will give you
points.
They will give you get points for using the credit card, and then you get like 12 months with 0% interest, 24 months with 0% interest. Those are the only ones that we apply for. We don't apply for credit cards just to apply. I'm like super cautious on when we do that, and understanding that every time you apply for a credit card, it's gonna bring your credit score down some points. It's not gonna be a lot. It can be anywhere from like 4 to 8 points. So if you're planning on buying anything big like a house or things like that, obviously you don't want to start applying for a bunch of credit cards when you're getting ready to purchase a house, because it will bring your credit score down some. So that's something that you do, apply for credit cards when you're not planning on making a big purchase like a home or a car or things like that. So we don't plan on purchasing a home for maybe another, 2 years. So for us, it didn't matter, if the credit score went down some. It goes down some when you apply for the credit card. Once that account for that credit card is established with the credit bureaus, then the credit score goes up again. So it's not gonna be damaged. It's not gonna be like that forever. It's just gonna drop some. But you gotta be really careful, and you're gonna be really strategic on how you do it, when you do it, and what credit cards to do. You don't want to apply for credit cards just for the sake of doing it. Like, do your research, understand what interest rate they're offering. Are they giving you any benefits? Are you getting any points? So like for us, for example, with the ones from Navy Federal, we use one, like the business one, we use it for everything, for the business, obviously. So we get tons of points every single month, with that credit card. We pay for plane tickets, we pay for hotels, whenever we do any traveling.
Rental cars too, right?
Yeah, you can pay for your airplane ticket, you can pay for your hotel, you can pay for rental cars with those points. Yeah. So it's, you save some money there. Yeah. Like every time we travel, like we don't gotta pay, much out of our pocket or anything.
Just use the points.
Yeah, because we use the points and we plan ahead. And we're gonna be going to Seattle hopefully next month for Christmas, and we have enough points to play for both of our plane tickets and possibly for the rental car that we're gonna use when we're down there. So you get those benefits as well. And why not use that credit card to pay for everything that you was gonna pay for anyway? If you already had the money to pay for all of those things, pay with a credit card, turn around and put that payment right back onto the credit card. And that's that's how you get all of those points. Like, we don't use cash for anything, we use credit cards for everything. But we're very calculated on how we do it and what credit cards we use. So it's just another way to kind of make it work for yourself.
Get some cash.
Get some cash. Yeah, exactly. because we, all of us are on the same boat out here, understanding that there's things that we're limited to do, in the trucking industry due to the high, being a high risk business, and like I said, I can only speak on the credit cards that I have used. But if any of you guys out there have used something, any other cards, and they have worked for you for different things, put it down in the comments, so that other people can read and get that knowledge. Let's share the knowledge with each other, and that's all we're doing. Sharing what we did and to get here today and what worked for us, the things that we got denied for, and the information that we was given on the reason and why we got denied for. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope it can help anybody out there. Just be really careful, and I'm not telling you go and do it. I'm just telling you what we did and how we made it happen, by using the credit card. So that is it for today, guys. I will see you on the next one.